our, 10th, 11th, 12th
No,
episode, something?
way past that.
Are we really?
I think 15th, 14th, or 15th?
14th or 15th episode. And bleep out whichever number is wrong. Just that way it sounds proper. But today's
so it
episode
just sounds like fucking 14th or whatever?
Exactly, but like multiple times throughout the whole thing. So yeah, with Generation Dan, we have Nick is at a cottage because he likes sitting in traffic for hours. So with us today is Caleb Mcduff, who I have met through the wonderful world of internet comedy, and that's been an exciting time. But welcome, Caleb. And I am Dino the Genetic Marvel, and our other host is...
I'm Atlas Novak. Did you have like a brought to you by? Because I thought of one before.
Go for it.
All right. Generation Dan is brought to you by coffee, the working man's beverage. Coffee, because it will make you poop during company time, which is time off. Cup.
I love pooping on company time, dude. You guys are speaking my language.
That is one of the best rhymes I've ever heard, where it's like, my boss makes $1 and I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time. And that is, telling you, that should be a mantra for unions right there. Like this.
Definitely.
Have
you guys ever seen that like picture where they're like, this is a toilet at an angle that makes it like unbearable to sit on after 3 minutes, so that people
Yes.
And like I will always see like pictures of it like, oh, it's coming, and it never comes.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it showed up somewhere, because this is the thing is middle managers want to make themselves useful, right? And when they say that they're contributing in some way, shape, or form, any idea, they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing until they get it, right? So it definitely makes sure, well, people are using the bathroom a lot, we should change to these bathrooms. It encourages people not to, cry on the toilet. They'll cry at their desk doing their work,
I gotta say, like, we already had our episode, like, ripping on workplace culture or whatever, but it just definitely the finding a way to look useful while not actually doing anything is, so it feels so good.
Honestly, that's why I like to not trim my beard regularly, so it just goes like just crazy forest size beard, and that way people just don't talk to me. It's a lot easier. Like it's seriously, that's one of the big reasons why I'm like, I won't get a haircut, and people are like, are you growing out your hair? And I'm like, am I a 13-year-old girl? Like, exactly. It doesn't, like, but I've been asked that, and I'm like, no, I'm just too lazy to go get my haircut, and it encourages people not to interact with me.
What surprises me about that is that you need help getting people to not interact with you, Dino. I had no idea that this was a struggle for you.
And that's the thing, is it's surprising because I'm like happily married, and people are like, someone stuck around, like, and are happy, and I'm like, I don't get it either. But it's just it's a weird thing. I have an ex-wife, man. Trust me, it is odd.
He got that twice, right?
And both weren't hunchback. Both of them.
What?
Well, because he's the part of the.
I'm the hunchback. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the one who sings from Notre Dame. That's just how that works. Right? Like, dude, and this is why I'm like, I was thinking about this because everyone is an asshole in some aspect of their life, right? And
sure.
I'm like, I try and be nice to people, but I'm also a very principled asshole. Like, so if I'm being an asshole, it is quick-witted, targeted, mean asshole, right? But you deserve it. Like, you're a piece of shit, so fuck you, Whereas other people are just assholes for no reason.
Knowing, like, we got a comment on one of our episodes, at the time of recording this, and they're like, hey, the audio is a lot better. And that was the week that the hospital episode came out. And I was like, oh, that's funny, because my audio was terrible. And they're like, no. Nick and Dino sound great. You sound like ass, but Nick and Dino, like, did they get a new microphone or something?
I did. I got it for my birthday.
Oh my god!
You got the freaking PlayStation special, dude. You're about to freaking say some racial slurs to me over the internet with that microphone, man. I know that all too well, dude.
Definitely slept with your mom. That's for sure. Like, that's definitely what.
100%.
I mean, yeah. Dino has definitely dirtbag stepdad energy.
You know what? So I've been told that multiple times. This week that someone said that to me because I was on a roast show, and I was like, I can get that, but at the same time, I don't. I'd really try to not be that way, but then I was like, I gotta get a haircut. I think I'm looking a little too skeezy. That's so yeah. I shave my head, but hey.
Caleb, have you ever gotten like the you look or have this energy or whatever from people?
Oh, it's a pretty regular thing. For a while, it was people just berating me, telling me that I look like I listen to the Mumford & Sons way too much.
You do.
That's fair.
There's also,
but do you actively listen to Mumford & Sons?
Listen, there was a period of time in which that was 100% true. I'm not gonna lie with that. Okay, I'm not gonna argue.
That's fair.
If it's accurate, it's accurate, right? But also, I mean, the other big one I get is, I look like I would cause traffic problems if the sun is too bright and I'm outside. You know what I mean? I have very reflective, pale skin. I bring down helicopters, stuff like that.
You live in the mountains, though. I feel like that would be better, I guess, because it's overcast. Or
well, the problem is that because of the elevation, I'm closer to the things that are flying above overhead, so the light is just that much more intense.
Right. Oh yeah, that's
Sorry, I love this part of this. Is so good. Because I made that one of those jokes earlier this week out of him. I'm like, you can't drive with him at night. You have to cover him just because you can't see outside the windows. It's so good.
See, now I'm just imagining him with like a really dark like blanket and just 2 eye holes cut in there.
Yeah, alien sightings.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I'm If my ankles are out, people are gonna like get burns like on the lower halves of their bodies.
Yeah. So are you. It's like a mutually assured destruction.
He burns so bright, he burns himself.
Yeah, fellow paleness. It's
I had to artificially darken my skin. Like,
there you go.
That's yeah.
What's the tattoo? I couldn't really.
Oh, so okay, let me see if I can get like a good angle on this. So I got this when I thought I was gonna be a lawyer still, which is pretty cool.
Okay, so you have like the justice scales, and then what's that around?
Yep. I got some chrysanthemum flowers because I'm a sensitive boy.
Okay.
And yeah, so I got that when I was still in the law program, and then I decided what is the best way that I could disappoint my mother even more than I have already. Oh, drop out of law school and do comedy for free? Done. So that
seems accurate. Yeah, that's fair. That's a good logic process.
Well, I learned a lot of logic in law school, and I'm just applying it to my life now. So that's all it is.
That's chrysanthemum flowers. When I was a little kid, my mom got me this children's book called Chrysanthemum, and the whole like moral of the story is it's a kid with an unusual name who like hates their name when they're little, and then they learn to appreciate it as they get older. And because I'm named Atlas,
that's everyone on the screen right now. Every person on screen is like has had that issue.
Like, I got a name. When you hear it, you picture like a kid that's sweating by himself in the lunchroom with like a Lego set. Like, that's my name, dude.
I don't really have like a stereotype with the name Caleb. It's Caleb.
Oh
yeah,
well,
but I guess that's just no one says, "Hey, this guy kicked my ass. His name is Caleb."
Yeah,
that's fair. That is completely fair.
Someone said something racist. Probably Caleb. Right? Like, you expect to hear that.
You know who keeps breaking the toilet on the 3rd floor? Caleb.
The only Caleb I knew before you was when I was a kid. I had this friend named Jared, and his little brother was named Caleb, and like he would keep ripping on the little brother Caleb, and I was like, he's fine. Like, let him hang out with us. Like, the little brother was okay. Like,
where were you in my childhood, dude? I had to like fight just to get a seat at the Yu-Gi-Oh table, man.
Oh yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh players. Dude,
losers.
I did Magic the Gathering now. Okay, I've set my game up, dude. I'm not a little pussy boy anymore. All right.
I run a literal podcast about a card game called Vanguard. So kindred spirits, you and I.
Yes.
TCG players. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So wait,
comics. I'm not that nerdy. That's
so you dropped out of law school to do comedy. What gave you the idea to do that? Were you just like, hey, you know what? Doing a dissertation is a lot like dropping this like really fire joke and getting a huge laugh out of it. I'm gonna keep doing that.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, dude, it's like talking to a jury, except like you just kind of juice it up a little bit, and then that's comedy basically in a nutshell. You just got to get the room on your side, you know. But really, what the crux of it was I was actually in a public speaking class, and so I was always like kind of like the funny kid, as comedians usually are supposed to be, right? But the thing that made me realize that I could actually maybe do stand up was this public speaking class, where like I would just like give like these impromptu speeches and like just like do like 3 minutes and just like tell a story about how I like shit my pants in high school one time. And people seemed to really enjoy that. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like I could actually do that? Because like someone actually said to me afterwards, it was like, dude, that could have been like a stand-up set. And then that was just like the click where I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna go do this then, because I don't want to do this anyway. I didn't want to do this from the beginning.
Were you like pressured into it by your parents, or?
Really, what it was I have this like just deep fear of failure. So I just thought, like, what's the easiest thing that I could do to like just like coast and be considered a success? Oh, lawyer or doctor. I'm good at words. I'll choose lawyer. That's all it was. I mean, my family was lawyers too, but there was never really any pressure. But yeah.
So your fear of failure went to, if I fail, this guy goes to jail, or if I fail, I kill someone.
No, it's more so that what would mean that whether I was good at the job or bad at the job, was I still successful because I had a title.
That's it. That's it right there.
Okay.
It's that idea where, well, I'm a doctor. You've killed so many people. It doesn't matter. You're still a doctor. Right?
Yeah.
It's lawyer, not so much. But
you know? I mean, what's fun about being a lawyer is that you get to kill people just indirectly. That's pretty cool.
Yes. Indirect homicide. That's fair.
Yeah.
I feel like you could easily do the like shitty bus bench ads like McDuff and Smith or whatever.
Oh, I would definitely be a DUI.
For sure. Dude, that's where the money is. Listen, that's one of the biggest things that happens right now is debt consolidation, DUIs, like small stuff where, look, the difference between having a lawyer and not having a lawyer is going to jail instead of paying a fine, right? Yep. And that's what it is. And the thing is that is a huge business of just funneling money through the judicial system, right? Yeah. So that's why you can be the minimal amount of success as a lawyer where, okay, you get people off or reduce sentence for DUIs, they end up going to jail, they pay fines. They don't pay the fine, not your problem. You did your job, you're a success. And you get paid well for it.
I mean, ultimately what litigation comes down to, because like my godfather was a judge and I would talk to him a lot when I was still doing the law program. And he's really like, what it really boils down to, one, less than 10% of cases ever go to trial. It's all just like plea bargaining and negotiation. That's literally all lawyers do, at least on the criminal side anymore, is like you just sit down with the prosecutor and you're like, all right, I get that this guy was doing 105 and a 60 and he was blasted on like 4 shots of tequila and his kids were in the car, but he was a great swimmer in high school. Can we make a deal? You know what I mean?
And you know what? And that's the thing.
You basically just described rapist Brock Turner.
Absolutely. And that's
that is the success of law, people. That's
the American legal system. Yes.
But it's everywhere. That's the problem, is like there's not enough time to hear people's stories and say, hey, are we ruining someone's life for driving too fast, right? Like there is no time or consideration for it. It's just easier and more profitable if we just run people through, make a negotiation. Okay, who can argue it better to the judge? The judge says, well, you know what, this kid's a piece of shit, but you know what, I like my buddy, so I'm gonna make him win. Boom.
Oh yeah, and it is so expensive to like there's so much money getting just pumped and dumped into the criminal system every day, and there's so many people just going through, like they have to just shove people through because like there's so many new cases coming in, and it's impossible. Like that's why so many people that may or may not have done the thing that they're accused of just take a deal, because it's just such a nightmare to go through the whole system.
And the delay, and think about it this way too, is if something is going to go to trial, okay, are you going to have a bond where you can be out of jail, or are you going to be stuck in jail the whole time waiting for the trial to happen, which is your entire life will fall apart on you. Right?
A lot of people take deals just to get out of jail. Yeah.
This is the thing is, I've never been to jail. Have either of you guys? I've never even been arrested.
No, me neither.
Okay. But I have had interactions with police in situations that are not beneficial. And I do a joke where I'm like, listen, my wife used to drive a Nissan Versa, and I would go around driving that car. I got pulled over once for a stop sign, I think it was. I didn't end up getting the ticket, but the thing was, like, the Nissan Versa is a weird car because I can drive it, get out, and sit behind me. But it's also something, if it had a moonroof, I could pick it up and wear as a dress. Like it's
Yeah.
not a big car, right? And it's weird. Like it's got a lot of space in the inside. So like I got pulled over and I'm like, listen, officer, I'm a big guy. I can't reach my wallet without getting out of the car. And he's like, okay, well, just, use both your hands to open the car door. I'm like, guy, if I could do that, we wouldn't be having the conversation. Like, I'll just keep the one up and I'll open from the outside. And, and I was 2/3 of the way out, getting out of the car. And he like takes a step back into traffic and like reaches for his gun. He's like, what the fuck are you? And I'm like, everything's cool, man. It's okay. I'm just really slow. And I'm a fat guy. You can see that's my wallet. It's bulging out of my pants because my pants aren't the right size. Like I don't have anything else concealed because I got fat guy pants and it looks like skinny jeans. So just be cool. And because I'm 6'2", and well then it would have been around 300 and probably around the same size I am now. So like 360, 370, right? That's a huge person for some. And when you see me coming out of that car, it looks like a clown car. You're like, it does not make sense. And that's, people get freaked out, right? And you're like, everything's cool, man. And then they're like, hold on. Like, I get pulled over. I take the keys out, turn off the car, take the keys out, put the keys on the dashboard, and put my hand through the steering wheel, and just look forward. I'm like, no problem. And
No problem.
He's like, all right. He goes, been pulled over before? I'm like, I just want to make sure everyone feels safe today, officer. That's it. Just everything's cool. And he goes, okay, what license and everything? He goes, okay, I'll come back. He comes back and goes, so listen, when you were in the car, you looked like I was going to be shooting you. Like, that's what it looked like. He goes, but you have no tickets, no arrests, no nothing. And I'm like, hey, man, I look a certain way. I get it. Like, I've been pulled over for looking like someone. And I'm like, it's cool. I don't want to get shot. That's not on my list of things to get done.
That's that Canadian profiling, dude. They see a Sasquatch in a car and they're like, it's him!
I'm cultured. I go by Yeti.
Actually, Sasquatch is a slur.
When my sister was in college, we drove her car from California to St. Louis. She went to a WashU there. And so it took us 2 days, and she got us through the first 3 states of California, Arizona, New Mexico, and then I got us through Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. And I got pulled over 3 times in 3 different states in one day.
Oh my God.
So Texas, where I'm a big fan of cruise control.
Oh yeah.
Just in general. Love
That's
cruise
fair.
control. So I'm going like 10 over on the freeway on cruise control because that's how it works in California. If you're going the speed limit, you suck. Like people
That's here too.
people will pass you and be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" You know,
That's
when you
Canada
like,
too.
yeah,
Same.
you know when you pass like a person who's like driving really slow and you're like, "I gotta get a look at this motherfucker." Who is
Every time. Every
You know?
time.
Yep.
So it's going 10 over. We get pulled over by a cop in like the middle of nowhere, Texas. And he comes out and he takes not only my license and registration, but my sister's, who was not driving.
Which is some bullshit, but
That is some bullshit. But this is a Texas cop with a gun the size of like, a large melon.
it's a cannon. It's a cannon that you walk around with.
Yeah.
It's a gun
So
as big as his penis wishes he was.
Yeah, exactly.
As
Perfect.
his wife
Yeah.
wishes it was.
It's gun's as big as he wishes his dick was.
So he takes both, and then he comes back and he's like, "Okay, I'm just gonna write you a written warning. Will you please come with me to my car?" Again, cannon on the belt. I'm not saying no. I go in the car. I'm sitting there and I'm like silently panicking, like in the cartoons with the sweat going down the face. And he's like, "Son, what's wrong? I'm just writing you a written warning." And I was like, "There's a shotgun in the back seat and it's poking me in the back of the neck." And he's like, "Oh, sorry about that." And he like brushes it off, continues writing the written warning, gives it to me, lets me go. So
Guy.
yeah.
That's yeah.
So I go exactly the speed limit and put that on cruise control. Can't
Yeah.
fuck it up.
Yeah.
We cross into Oklahoma. Speed limit drops 5 miles per hour. I get pulled over for the same reason.
Wow. We're going 5 over?
So
You know what? Hey, 5 or foreign plates. right?
Yeah,
Out of state plates.
That's how
the
the
key.
story's gonna end.
Yeah.
But like, so the cop's like, he only takes my registration that time, or my license and registration that time, and then he goes, okay, written warning, here you go, get out of here. So I'm like annoyed at this point, and we're like, I don't know, 10 miles outside of St. Louis. It's 1 a.m. at this point. I'm going exactly the speed limit, paying attention, cruise control. It's us and the cop, no other cars going around. Blinker to change lanes to get out of the way. So the cop will pass me, pulls me over. And then he walks up, takes one look, doesn't even take my license. He's like, just go. And then
Why did you get pulled over?
don't know.
This is.
Yeah. He didn't even go, do you know why I pulled you over? He's just go. And then I realized white people, California license plates, Prius. Yeah. So
Definitely a drug mule. 100% drug mule.
Yeah.
You need that fuel efficiency if you're moving pot from the other side of the country, bro.
Yeah. But like we did that, and then but after the third time, I was like, you know what? You're driving. I'm fucking done with this shit. I've been pulled over 3 times today. Screw this. I didn't get a single ticket, but like, imagine if my skin tone was like a couple shades darker on like the paint store swatches. I'd be dead. You know?
Either that or like you would definitely be in some like rickety jail cell in Texas right now, just trying to negotiate for stamps and loose cigarettes.
Yeah.
That does that do you guys travel out of state a lot or no?
No, not often.
I do somewhat. I'm actually getting ready on the week of the I'm leaving on the 16th. I'm going to San Francisco, and then from San Francisco I'm going to Vegas, and then Vegas back to Colorado. And I'm doing it all by car.
Nice.
And the thing that sucks is, it's the same thing. Like Colorado has the same problem where they see Colorado plates and they are on you. And the second you do anything that's like even like remotely stoppable, they'll stop you.
Yeah.
Because they just assume you have something.
Yeah. But okay, on the plus side, the only real state that's going to do that to you is what? Utah?
Wyoming, Utah, Nevada's okay.
Yeah.
New Mexico will do it. California's fine.
Yeah, Arizona's okay.
Arizona's like more or less fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I only go really west usually anyway. Kansas is a nightmare.
I bet.
Kansas sucks trying to drive through. I mean, like it's already bad enough that I got to see like billboard after billboard of how much Jesus loves me and doesn't want me to get an abortion. Like, why do I have to get harassed by the police also just because I have a green license plate, dude?
Is that how Kansas is? I don't fucking know.
Oh yeah, big time.
That's how Texas and Oklahoma were. Like, Jesus, this mega church over here, don't get an abortion, blah blah blah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you see, that's.
So at the time of recording this, like that Texas law went into effect back on Wednesday, where it basically illegalized abortion.
Yeah.
So after 6 weeks, which is most people don't find out till like 8 to 10 weeks. It's some bullshit, but they put up a website where you can basically snitch on people like, hey, this one's getting an abortion. There is zero repercussion if it turns out to be nothing. So people started flooding it with Shrek porn and like fake reports and shit. And then GoDaddy.com took it down.
That's my generation going to work, dude. That's my generation going to work, dude.
Gen Z coming through for us, but like, I'm like vaguely okay with the idea of the second Underground Railroad. Like, I will help you get the little bugger out of your uterus because as Bobby Oliver once said, what, you wouldn't kill a bug? You wouldn't kill a bug. And then she's like, I'd kill it if it was trying to ruin my life. So
we should start like a nonprofit. We'll call it, let's take this conversation to the top of the stairs. And that's exactly what we do.
I've been holding back for like 5 minutes, not saying, okay, don't say that joke. Don't say that joke. Don't say that joke. And then you did it. And I'm like, I'm good. I'm somebody did it. It's fine.
The stairs.
Take this conversation to the top of the stairs. Fuck. You know what? No. There's a clip. There's a clip that I have on my phone that I got. No, and it was. If I don't know if we can include it, but it's a bunch of African American women. It's like looks like one of those contests like Bachelorette or anything like that, but I think it's business wise. And one woman starts crying, and she goes, yeah, you do whatever you can just to reach your goals, and sometimes things happen, they're out of your control. And she was like, I just had an abortion, and it was twins. And then from behind her, another woman goes, damn, double homicide. And you're like, whoa. And the lady just turns, she's like, bitch. And then she's like, sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud. And you're like, guy, whoo, that is a rough experience. But
there's one thing, abortion jokes are one thing. Abortion jokes directed at someone who has just had an abortion. Yeah, it's a little, read the room. Maybe
it's a little fresh. Like, I mean, that being said, this is the American Sign Language for abortion. So, yeah. I think Dino's seen it before, but
yeah, this is so bad. like it's accurate. It's accurate, but see, this is the thing is, people who are going through shit, they should not be the ones that are involved in that conversation. They are under enough pressure, enough stuff, right? But at the same time, if I was walking by two people signing and someone did this, I'd be like, yo, I know your secret. Like, immediately.
It's funny that that's the American Sign Language way of saying that, because that's probably also what I would resort to if I made a mistake while I was abroad. You know what I mean? Like, you? Yeah. Yes?
Yeah. I mean, like, some ASL, it's really subtle. Like, thank you is this, and then fuck you is this. Yeah. So, like, if you do it, too low in the chin, it might be an insult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to be polite to someone who can't hear very well, and then all of a sudden you're in a fist fight.
Yeah.
And that guy's got a stick, so that's not fair. I didn't know we were allowed to bring weapons. Like.
Yeah. And also, while we're piling on the abortion jokes, fetus deletus. Okay. What were you saying?
I was
okay,
say,
Harry Potter.
On the stick, that was.
That had to have been a thing. Like, Hogwarts, if they're gonna have wizards shitting on the floor and stuff, there had to have been a spell to get rid of an unwanted
Caleb doesn't know. So I was on another podcast that I do called Random Tandem that happens Saturday nights, and we had a Harry Potter episode, and Atlas was the guest. So we went through all of this material and the whole thing was that, so the reason wizards wear robes is because they would just shit on the ground at Hogwarts and then zap it with magic. And I'm like, listen, let's be honest. Would you try and catch it before it hits the ground? Just I'm that fast, bam, and just.
Dude, I want a spell that just slowly just pulls it out, and then I can make it do tricks in the air. You know what I mean?
Gross.
Balloon animals out of.
Wait, by that logic, does that mean that wizard babies don't wear diapers because you can just,
I feel like the better magic would be to make it disappear pre-anus breach.
From the colon, right?
Yeah, right, poo, and just take it right out, so everything's smooth. Like Caleb said, I'm not sure that you should play with it or make it into sculptures, but realistically, it'd be easier, a smoother process if you could just pull it out, right?
Dude, if magic was real, there would be poop art installations within 6 months, and they would start in Portland, and everyone knows it.
6 months? Give it a week.
They're already in Portland, I'm sure. Let's be honest. Okay, and be like, the mess is part of my art. You're like,
people are just making Starbucks cups out of doo-doo and then putting it up in the middle of the road, man.
I'm gonna vomit.
I call this one Cafe Mocha Extra Dark.
Okay, I am never suggesting this episode to friends or family to listen to. They're gonna have to find this on their own. Abortion jokes and poop. That's well
this
done.
is my demo. We got it. We're good.
Yeah.
Listen, it's important to provide a range of entertainment. You never know who you're working with. So it's some people might be encouraged and go, fetus deletus. That's a good one. You don't know. It's fan fiction goes a weird way. Somebody gets pregnant, fetus deletus.
Fan fiction goes a weird way. I used to run a podcast about that very subject. It was called Bad Reading, and yeah. So you're welcome to go find that if you want.
There's some
but
glorious fan fiction out there, dude.
yeah, there definitely is.
You ever read any of like the Sonic the Hedgehog stuff?
Oh God, when we finally got to it, I was like, I have to be very careful because like every fanfic is ridiculous, but the Sonic ones, like, that has a reputation outside of fanfiction of being ridiculous.
Yeah.
So like I have to be that is like walking on broken glass. That's
dude, that's like the Russian romantic novel of fan fiction. That's like
yeah.
That's like the modern philosophy is just like Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Games doing extracurricular activities in the locker room.
Oh my God.
This is not the first time this has been brought up. So at the Olympics, everybody gets their fuck on. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
How can you not?
Sonic and Mario. Why? That's
dude, it's out there, I promise.
I don't want it in here. That's the thing.
Search off Google Images, you'll find pages, bro.
No.
Definitely Alexa, search.
The internet? Come on.
The views of Generation Dan do not condone turning off safe search for anything, let's be honest.
Man, this is that Zoomer mindset coming into play, dude. This is why we're changing the world, man. Where do you think we found the Shrek porn to flood the Texas websites?
Yeah.
Someone had to draw it, and someone had to put it on Google Safe Search off, and someone had to find it and post it.
Yeah, and like, because I saw a TikTok where it's a guy's doing it using a bot, so it just is automatically, putting them in every few minutes.
Dude.
Yeah,
that's efficient shit posting.
That's how you get a job. Like, let's be honest. Like my resume, I was responsible for this. You're gonna get a job.
That's one of those things where like a Nick Fury type guy shows up and he's like, "We understand you brought down the Texas anti-abortion website. We want you on our team."
And then he just opens a door and it's just a room of like there's like a kid with like a Harry Potter robe on, and then there's like another kid with like a medallion that he made himself, made out of clay of just like a penis.
Yeah.
Like another kid with like a Magic the Gathering t-shirt on. He's just like fiddling with like cards and he's just like throwing them at the wall and they just like stick, dude. It's like a heist setup.
And then it's like, isn't or like...
Sorry, I just pictured like the Italian Job where everyone's sitting in different positions, and I'm like, this is it's Reservoir Dogs gone
hot
real
topic.
Bad. Like it's
Reservoir Dogs goes hot topic. That's
This is the whitest episode we've ever done.
Well, that's what happens when Nick's not here. We get very pale.
We get very pale. That's the thing is, it's that is great. That's good. Reservoir Dogs goes hot topic. That is gold. Oh fuck. This is you know what? That's the thing is like have you guys seen that there's an advertisement on Amazon Prime for a new Cinderella movie?
Yeah,
I saw reviews for it. I didn't.
I saw the movie Free Guy in theaters. And,
how was it?
It was pretty. It was like stupid fun. Like you have a good time. It's kind of.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a good movie. Okay.
No one's
better
expecting
or worse?
like high concept. Like I had a good time. That's it.
Okay. Was it better or worse than the Hitman's Bodyguard?
I haven't seen Hitman's Bodyguard.
What cave do you live in?
I haven't seen that movie either, Dino.
Yeah.
You're just.
You guys are fucking. You guys are losers that are busy all the time. Gross. Okay.
No, you're the only one that lives in the cave, Dino. That's the problem.
It's a nice cave. It's got blankets and ready barbecue all the time. So if anything, I retired early. Thank you very much. That's what I did.
He just Uno reverse carded us.
Yeah.
No, but like it was a good time. I saw there was a preview for the Cinderella movie as part of Free Guy, like beforehand.
All right.
It looked stupid.
I heard it was pretty stupid.
No.
It's my thing is there's a remake, like there's these constant remakes that some have gone well, but some have gone so horribly wrong that it's very, very confusing to me because look, people talk about having a female protagonist. You're like, listen, Aliens, Alien 3, keep the list going. Like there's so many more where you're going, no, just you can write a script for a woman, you're like, you don't have to take an old story and like, we're gonna change everything. You're like, that's not how you make a story better.
Kill Bill.
Oh fuck, that's
And
great.
it doesn't even have to be also like the protagonist could be genderless and you just do a woman because why not? Like
Yeah, I think that's just more harder. It's a more difficult process to produce, like the writing, the story itself, right? Like, because there's so much identity that people have when it comes, especially now when it comes to gender, whatever that means. You know, that people are focusing. Like, I think the one of my biggest gripes with what's happening now is like everything has to have a label, you know, and you're like, you know. It's people try and categorize things so they aren't categorized generalized, and you're like, I get what you're trying to do, but now it's going too far because then people just start assuming, oh, you have this, oh, you have this, and you're like, you know what, I think I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. That's okay. That's a completely satisfactory explanation of things, you know.
Dino, you're on fucking notice right now, okay? I'm going to put this on fucking Twitter, and everyone's going to see how much of a misogynist piece of shit you are.
Listen, let's be honest. Of the three of us, I definitely am the one that calls women broads. Like, that's just... I embrace it. I'm like, listen, you don't like it? That's okay.
Hey, Toots, let me get another coffee.
He would.
Yeah.
He would.
No, not Toots. Toots feels demeaning. Like, that's definitely... But a broad, and I'm like, nah, whatever. It's fine.
Hey, broad.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of good broads over here.
Gal,
club last
that
night.
Counts, right?
What?
I unironically say gal, not like when addressing someone, but when referencing someone. Like, she's a cool gal.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's very Midwestern, isn't that? Is that
kind of? Like, I'm from California. Like, gal and y'all entered my vocabulary around college, and I know why. It's because my girlfriend through all of college was from Minnesota. And
that makes sense.
she brought gal with her, and then she became one of the tour guides for the school.
Well, okay. I think we have to clear up that it's like, hey, gal, and it's like she was a mean gal, not like Shaggy says gal. Like, not that's...
Yeah. Well, like...
Gal. Like, it's not the same.
Gal.
Yeah.
The y'all thing came...
That's not...
Because she became a tour guide, and as part of the tour guide's, like... job,
hey,
you weren't allowed to say like you guys when referring to a group of people, so they made them say y'all because that wasn't referential to one gender, and then she started doing it, and then I started doing it, and then here we are like 5 years later, and it's pretty useful. It's good.
It's funny that you would use the word guys, because do you guys know the origin of that word? I just learned it this week. And I'm so excited to actually talk about it because I felt so smart when I learned. I'm like, I don't think anyone knows this. I'm going to use it. You guys heard of V for Vendetta? You guys have seen that?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. Okay. So Guy Fawkes.
Yeah.
So they had those masks and stuff like that. So the idea was, you guys was like people who were a little bit crazy, like that's how they were referred to, and then slowly became an androgynous word. So it was like guys was just a group of people that were a little bit off, and then it was used so much that it just became guys. So it actually is a genderless term that has a weird origin. Yeah. But that's because I've actually, someone was like, hey guys, and it was like, there are ladies here, and I was like, fuck off. Like, I don't like, I'm not one to get into that argument because I just go, I don't fucking care. And I just walk away, right?
Yeah,
like,
same. Like I asked her, like, why does that even matter? I don't think anyone's gonna care. She's like, they're just making us do it. And then I don't know. I never really meant anything by guys. Like, guys is just you group of people who I'm
exactly, which is actually accurate. Like, that's what it's supposed to be. But then it's been now that it is a gender. You're like, no, it's not. It's referred to as just a group of people.
That's probably because of like guys and dolls and
sure. Well, that's actually a different, right? You're referring to guys as a group and dolls. Yeah, I would think dolls would be on the.
Who knows?
Could you imagine if out of all of this, people are allowed to call women dolls? That would be interesting.
That would be very interesting.
It really would. Because
I mean, all these white
same
girls.
Like tier is broad though. Hey doll, like gross.
I mean, all these white girls I keep seeing on like Facebook and Twitter want to keep going back to the 1950s for some reason. So, I mean, why don't we just start? Why don't we just figure it out? Everyone seems to be born in the wrong generation. I miss milkshakes and racism. Like, all right, cool, dude. Let's just start. I'll start calling you doll.
No, he accidentally did Generations, but like 70 years in the past. Good shit.
Yeah, but that.
Yeah.
Well, this is the funny thing is that this keeps on being so. Okay, I have this question: is that I feel now that it's appropriate, not necessarily to completely accommodate, but to be accepting of people's preferred nature.
Yeah,
Is
for
that
sure.
okay?
Identity,
So-
yeah.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is people use very specific things to create their identity, so that they focus in on maybe it's gender, or maybe it's who they love, or it's how they participate in society. They focus on specific things, but realistically, then is embracing or not permitting but accepting what people want to do. Is like people who want to say, oh, I wish I was born in the 50s. Like, at what point does, like, you have guys like, so I've been sending Atlas all these memes that are like old-timey, like medieval type pictures, right? And he's like, that's just horrible. But at the same time, it's like now you have this entire group of people who are like, I want to live in medieval times. And you're going, well, okay, but hold on, right?
Listen, flights to New Jersey are not that expensive. If you want to live in the medieval times, you can do that. It's not that big a deal.
I wonder if like medieval times, like the restaurant, eventually, you know, in post-apocalyptic times, there's gonna be some guy who like hides out in the medieval times and is like,
Center
there's
for
my
operations.
castle.
There's definitely gonna be a raid boss in the medieval times who stole the joust armor, and he's got like a crew of peasants around him, and you gotta like storm the medieval times.
Mhm.
It's absolutely happening.
Definitely.
That seems like they're missing out on a definite income stream. Like they can definitely be a knight and you pay extra for that, right? And you have to go and you have to try and start a revolution in secret. I feel like that would be like a special ticket price.
And then we come full circle in the guy thing. You get the guy Fox Max. I learned an interesting new like piece of vernacular this week from an old lady, which is not usually where you learn them. And it's gonna be horrifying.
You're on fucking notice.
No, Dino, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Caleb, this is for you and the listener. So, I work in medical records, so people call requesting their records. Usually it's older people because eye doctor. And I got this lady who called, and I know she was born in the year 1937. I know this because on her profile. But in the middle of the phone call where she's like, I want my records. Can you send them here? Let me, she goes, oop, I just exited through the gift shop. And I was like, Are you in a museum right now? She's like, no, it's when you fart and it goes up your pussy.
Oh.
That's like that circular breathing shit that all these gurus are trying to make you do.
But it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm at work, so I have to be professional. And I go, okay. Like, I don't have a good answer.
So I have questions though. Is when she said that, was it like out of shock? Like, how did she deliver that statement? Because like, was it like seems I've exited through the gift shop, or was it like, oh, like,
were there horny overtones?
No. It was like, oh, drop my pen. Like, just kind of.
Oh, I just farted in my pussy.
I did not consider that option, and it makes it worse. That's it.
Well, the thing I did immediately after hanging up the phone instead of doing my job was I texted every woman that I know, and I was like, is this a thing? I have to know if this is a thing.
I'm going to pull my girlfriend after this and ask if she's ever farted in her pussy.
Well, no,
I asked my wife after he sent it to me. I'll tell you that right away.
Did she? Well, like, I know that women do that. Does that term exist? And as far as I can tell, no, it doesn't. But
no, it does not. And I'll tell you this much: when I said it to my wife looked at me and was like, "You know weird people." And I was like, "Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair response." She's like, "That's disgusting." And I'm like, "Also a fair response, honey. I love you. Please don't leave me." That's pretty much what.
I'm thinking, okay, here's what I'm thinking. So you know how she would have been in like her teens, early 20s during the 50s. And during the 50s, you know, if you said the wrong thing, you were a communist. So every little like sexual thing you had to like have a like cutesy term for it, making whoopee, right?
Right.
So
Yes.
I'm thinking that that's one of the things like her and her friends made up.
Yeah.
When they were in college or whatever, and then it just stuck with her whole life. That's the best guess I can muster.
What's the male version of that? I guess when you like fart so hard that it vibrates your balls and then you come. That ever happened to you guys?
Okay, that last part didn't happen.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
That's all right. Well, I guess that's just a young
Vibrating
guy
your
thing.
balls,
You guys
though,
want to get it.
That's the thing. I'm naming this episode "Exit Through the Gift Shop" because fuck it.
100%. 100%. You might want to say exit. I'm exiting through the gift shop, guys.
It's funny that you bring up farts, dude. I learned an interesting science fact the other day about farts. So the part
This
like,
episode is almost as disgusting as carbonated cum. Just saying.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah,
I like
it,
dude. Okay, so quick fart fact. The part of your farts that make it stinky is only like 1 part per million. It's like 1% of your actual fart. But if you were to isolate that like isotope or molecule, whatever,
yeah.
and you get it to like at least like 20,000 parts per million or something like that, it would literally be enough to instantly kill a man. So you could literally have a fart that's silent but deadly, theoretically speaking, which is pretty fucking awesome.
It's the concentration of the actual molecule would definitely. They're like, yeah, you would die. I think I saw the same thing. But I saw it a little while ago.
Well, like,
also, you guys are you were talking about carbonated cum. I don't know much about carbonated cum, but you ever seen a guy put cum in a vape mod?
No.
Dude, it's pretty wild. Yeah, like you get like those big old like tank like chugger mods that like these guys in vape shops that wear like fedoras use, and then he just like put jizz in it, and then he just vaped his own cum.
Oh my god.
See,
no, we were thinking because the episode came from like fire hose, like firefighters use like the kind of foamy stuff, and then Nick called it carbonated cum, so that's what the episode was named after.
Yeah. It was definitely not as perverted as you, Caleb. So that's a definite.
Thank you, Caleb. You are Nick with werewolf powers. That's.
I have to admit, though, everything that Caleb said, I was like, I'm not surprised with that series of events. It's like, those guys at a vape shop who modify their stuff and wear fedoras. You're like, yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That guy comes in
and
in a tank.
He comes in a tank, and you're like, yep, that checks out. He definitely has a collection. You're like, and then he vapes it, and you're going, one of those options is going to happen. It's going to be, he made toys with it, whatever he did, but definitely happened.
That's like multifaceted birth control, bro. That's like before and after the fact. That shit works.
I'm hoping that like, I've like toyed with the idea of getting a vasectomy. And like, I really wish that just the fucking birth control shot or something for guys, because I feel like it's easier to,
spray and pray.
Not spray and pray. I feel like it would be easier to cut it off at its source rather than try and build up the fortifications. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
condoms suck, so that's fair.
Condoms do suck, but also if they're gonna make this abortion thing a thing, like I would love to see a bunch of like millennials and Gen Z in Texas be like, all right, fuck you, I'm not having kids. Vasectomies and sterilizations all around.
I honestly think that that's coming anyway, though. Like there's a huge amount. Like one of my big things, like me and Victoria, we don't have kids, but at the same time, like we want kids, but right now during this, are you mental? I just been a comedian. I'm still not making really good scratch. I'm like, definitely not. Her parents are getting older. I'm like, no, we have a million reasons not to have kids. If it would happen, great. But we're not focusing on that. That's not our priority because it's not a great time. Yeah. Right. So, but then you're seeing younger people who, let's be honest, can barely fucking find a way to have a conversation in real life with a person, let alone have a relationship. Right. So I feel like
it's not just that. It's like just trying to make a living where like you're not living paycheck to paycheck is very hard for people of my and Caleb's generation. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, dude, right now. I have zero job, right? I have
Yeah.
comedy. I make people laugh. And even then, sometimes not successfully.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, yeah.
Right?
Trying to
So-
turn dick jokes into grocery money. It's hard.
It is. And that's why it's like, yeah, okay, that's I get that, but it's like through everything we're realizing how much we're under attack on a daily basis, just emotionally, mentally. That's what I see as what's been brought out of the pandemic is we realize that we are constantly we had a literal abusive relationship with the 9-to-5 job. That's what we had.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's right.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like realistically people actually starting to focus, say, you know what, I'm going to do this shit for me. Like Caleb, you quitting law school is a realization for you where I'm not having fun. Like I don't really give a shit about a name. Fuck it. And that's like one of the big things where it's like that transition, it's a difficult step, and it is brutal, but that's the same type of thing. And follow me here is like in the 40s, well, not so much the 40s, let's say the 50s and the 60s was people just saying, you know, I don't want to work for him. I'm going to start my own business. And you had an influx of entrepreneurs, people just doing their own thing. And that's the thing is when you do that, you have to invest so much more of yourself with doing that you don't have the time or even the energy to now I have to get to know this other person and then actually be able to open myself up, which can be even more damaging to myself if that person's a piece of shit. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's I get it, but dude, you're gonna see a whole bunch of people having kids like, dude, I'm 41, even I know I look like I'm 60, but that's the thing is if I have kids now, I'm going to be theoretically retirement age when my kids are graduating from university, right? That's a fucking shitty situation.
That's what's going on right now. My parents are 69 and 68. I am 27.
Yeah.
You want to guess how old my mom is?
16. No.
40. I don't know.
She's 40.
Is she
No
really?
fucking
She's
way.
40. Yeah. And dude, she
there you
just
go.
finished her bachelor's degree, and I took one of her classes for her because I'm a good son.
That's
Good for
interesting.
her. Good
Yeah.
for her.
But it's definitely weird because like my dad has Parkinson's, which I've talked about before, and he got checked into the hospital this week for something called a gastric twist, which is literally when your stomach twists itself up in a knot. So he's there right now, but I think he'll be all right. But it's just the kind of thing where like the realization that your parents are getting old. And I especially feel bad because he had a second set of kids and they're 11 and 9, and this is going on for them now. Like they're not even in puberty yet. And
oh wow.
Oh, they're 11 and 9 right now.
They're 11 and 9 right now. Yeah.
See,
my half siblings.
So, and that's okay. This is the thing. So I'm the youngest of 5 kids, right? And my oldest brother is 12 years older than I am, right? So when my mom had me, she was 32, which was old, right? But at the same time, so it's like when I was high school and complete young asshole, they also had a lot of the fight taken out of them by 4 more kids, right?
Yeah.
So it's my turn. Not only is nobody else around, but like they're older, they're tired. I got away with all sorts of stuff, right?
The eternal latchkey kid.
Oh, 100%, right? And like the weird things, I experience weird stuff also, not only because I'm shaped like a giant, but also because I was the last one there. So we had different conversations. Like I was more privy to, 2 people in a relationship talking versus my parents talking at all the kids,
Right.
And so it's a different, like you learn differently, I think. That was my experience, right? Like I was 15 years old and my dad tried to smack me and I just palmed his chest and was like, don't ever touch me again. I'll rip your arms off. And suddenly, we started talking about things, right? And none of my other siblings had it. We all got spanked. We all got smacked in the face. Like that's what happened. We were European. That's, well, we're still European, but you know what I mean, right? Like it's not, that was the process. And it's not like he beat us or anything. It wasn't hard, but that was the punishment. But because he couldn't do that anymore, we had to talk. And that was a whole other understanding. It was different, right?
So you had like I'm having that now with my parents where I'm learning things that they're never going to tell their kids because you have to keep that facade up of I'm the parent, you're following me. And then I was talking, like I did a show in Oceanside, which my dad came with me for. And it was like a little mini road trip, but I just got to hear basically his entire life before meeting my mom from like the end of high school to then. And just seeing all the like wacky shit he got into, all the drugs he did. He was at Woodstock. He's like, yeah, just go down to this music festival and do all the acid. And like, you're not gonna tell your 12-year-old that. Why would you?
And you shouldn't, right? Like, well, this is what I've been seeing is more is like, are you like, do you brace them for how crazy life can get? Or do you protect them as long as you can, right? Like there's that middle ground of preparation versus a removal of innocence. I don't know. Like, okay, so for Caleb, you said your mom is 40. How old are you? You said you're
22.
Like 21. Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, she had me
Taylor
at
Swift song old.
I am feeling. Oh yes, I'm going from Taylor Swift this year to Miley Cyrus next year, and it's freaking exciting, dude. This is the best time for me to be alive.
No.
But yeah,
it
dude,
is. You're absolutely right. It is.
Yeah, my mom had me pretty young. She had me when she was still in high school. She actually had to drop out because she had me. She had me when she was 17, pregnant at 16, had me at 17.
Fuck. That's rough.
Yeah.
Your mom's a champ, man.
My mom is a big time champ, dude. She's the best. She had to work so hard, but because she had to work so hard, I was kind of left to my own devices a lot,
Yeah.
Growing up a lot, I was just kind of left alone. I mean, I was always kind of like I kind of had to grow up pretty quick, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So, I was just kind of in the house by myself holding it down. But also, why do you think I know about all the Shrek and Sonic porn, dude? Like, I was by myself with an internet connection in middle school? Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, that happened with me too. Well, because like both parents were, boomers, and they didn't know what was up with the internet. So you're just like, all right.
I feel like there's a joke behind you said looking for the scene where Shrek is in the tub, like in the mud tub. And so you're like Googling, you're like, safe search off, Shrek in the tub. And you're like, oh God, what have I looked for?
Oh no, dude. What it is that you get a bunch of like other dirtbag friends in middle school because we grew up in kind of a small town. We were all bored out of our minds and had connections to the internet. And then they would show you things like Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life. Have you ever seen that? You know what that is?
I'm never going to.
Dude, I'm sending everybody links. It's going to happen. It's like you just see like all this bizarre because like I grew up when the internet was really starting to flourish, you know what I mean? And when it really kind of came into its own into what it is. Like I grew up in the wild west of the internet, man. So there was like all kinds of craziness going on. And like I made the joke about like the PlayStation like headphone thing, but that's a reality for me. Like I had a lot of like social interactions on the internet that were hostile 99% of the time.
You would have been in third grade or so, fourth grade when the first iPhone came out. That's
something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
God, I feel holy shit.
I was 13 or 14. I was the age of Danny Phantom when the first iPhone came out.
Danny Phantom was like just coming off the air when I started to care about Danny Phantom.
I don't know who Danny Phantom is. I'll be honest with you guys. I have no idea who that is. You said it, I'm like, that's a made up name. That's not real.
No. It's a Nickelodeon show about a kid who has ghost powers.
Same people.
That's a shitty cartoon. Okay. I grew up with Darkwing Duck. Okay.
Yeah.
That is badass. I had gargoyles. Okay. These were real things.
I watched those when they were in reruns, so you and I aren't too far off.
Kill you if I meet you.
We're gonna have to meet eventually. Like you're either coming to California or I'm going up to Canada. Something's happening.
I'm probably gonna come to California before you come to Canada. Let's be honest.
And then I show up in Canada, and then you like come to the airport to hug me, and then just stab me right.
Constantine says hello. Yeah, definitely. That is. I gotta send you. There's a bunch of comics that I read. What is? I think it's Elder Cactus, and it's about a mob hitman who works for Tony Zuko. And this is if you just Google Tony Zuko says hello, essentially it's him like helping people out of deadly situations only to kill them and say Tony Zuko says hello. It's very funny. I'll send it to you. It's very
I had an idea for a horror movie where it's a like, a Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy Krueger type, but he sucks at being a horror movie monster. So every time he goes to kill, like, his would-be victims just beat the shit out of him. And then it's like an underdog story of him trying to be, like, get good at being a horror movie monster. Just make it like a dark comedy or something.
It would be him learning to actually play the like music in the background. He always plays it wrong. He's like, that's the wrong button.
Yeah.
It's just Caleb already sent us the link, and I'm terrified.
He like hits the button on the boombox, and it's like, we're no strangers to love. Fuck.
For sure. Like, there has to be, like, I really feel like we're missing the mark in the whole, like, because everyone loves like American Horror Stories and stuff, like, where it's like there's a killer, crazy. Yeah. Did you guys watch was it Fear Street 1984?
No.
Is that the Netflix thing?
Yeah, there's three movies, but they're all attached to like different times where the same series of events is happening. It's really cool. They really did a great job and a lot of good twists and everything. But the idea of a scary murder is like, what led up to that? You're like, everybody has a cool story. You're like, so what if one of them was a bumbling, like, Mr. Bean type where he just like killed somebody? He's like, why do I have an erection? And that's how it's like, I enjoy this. Oh my God. But then he has to figure out how to be good at it. That's totally fair.
Okay, now I'm imagining like a Three Stooges type thing. We're like, whoops, dropped a knife on somebody. Damn. Okay. Oh, this is fun. We should. Oh wait, no, that's the fucking South Park thing where it's Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, and John Wayne Gacy, and they're like the Three Stooges. Have you guys seen that episode?
Seen that, but that'll Google.
I forgot the name of the episode, but it's like Satan is throwing a birthday party for himself, and he sends those three to pick up the cake, and it's like their whole subplot is.
Oh God!
It's really fucking funny.
I'm gonna need you to find that and send it to me, please.
I will.
That's. See, I grew up watching Three Stooges every Sunday. That was one of the big things. If we weren't at
church,
a religious thing, we were watching that, and because it would play usually like during the afternoon hours.
Yeah.
Like on some shitty Canadian channel. It was just like horrible, but
it wasn't like CBS or whatever. Or...
No. It was like like public broadcast. I don't know what it was, but it was just some shitty Canadian channel, so it wasn't even like in HD or anything like that. But that was the thing is my whole family, if somebody falls down, we laugh. Like if I fall, I will laugh, and
But like you look like you falling down is inevitably funny.
Absolutely. Listen, fat people Fat people falling down is what should rule the internet, and I'm disappointed that it hasn't. Okay, because that shit is hilarious.
Dude, my physics professor was a fat guy, and he fell down one time, and I was like, "Oh, that's it. Yeah, like, that's what you're trying to get across. All right, I get it now."
That's it. That's just dude, fat people falling. There's nothing more enjoyable to watch. The only time I didn't laugh is because I broke my rib. I ended up kicking my own ass. It was weird. But man, a little guy who's like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Why? You got a forklift in your pocket? Yeah, fucking leave me alone, man. Just put up some pylons or something."
I can massage your shoulders until the cops get here. I don't know what you want me to do, dude. Rub your thighs, tell you stories, maybe.
I kind of am the only I fell and it hurt like hell, but I was just like, oh, it happens. But what else was I gonna say? I totally forgot. I spaced out.
Well, I was gonna say that probably a good place to stop while we're on the subject of falling down murder.
Falling down murder.
And abortion and poop.
Oh man.
Exiting through the gift shop and all that stuff.
Yes.
Caleb, thanks for coming on Generation Dan.
Dude, thanks for having me. This is so fun, dude. This is awesome.
Yeah. Would love to have you back.
I would love to be back. Yes.
Yeah. Where can
energy?
Yeah, definitely. Where can people find you and follow you and all that good stuff?
I'm at Caleb M Comedy on Instagram. I'm at Caleb C McDuff on Twitter, or just Caleb McDuff on Facebook. If you're cool, we can be friends.
Okay. All right.
That's me, dude.
Yeah. And then you can find me at Atlas Novak on Twitter, Instagram, or find us at Generation Dan on Twitter. There would be an Instagram, but we don't give a fuck, so
Do you want me to? Oh, do I have to do another? I already
No,
have 2
no.
Instagrams, so I want
No.
to do another one.
I literally, what would we put on there? Really? Like,
I don't know.
see what I mean?
Apparently,
Yeah.
people like hot women. I get contacted by prostitutes all the time on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's awkward.
My
They want to see your credit card, Dino. Don't fall for it.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
you know
not
how
the back and the front.
you know how Facebook will send you like bot Facebook friend requests where you're like, you know what, that's a fucking because I keep deleting them so quickly, they think like Facebook thinks I'm gay and it's starting to send me hot dudes.
That is a relentless bot. Okay, that is kudos to that bot. It's like, okay, if you didn't like that, maybe it's over here.
If you didn't like Cindy, maybe you'll like Gary.
You're gonna start getting pictures of dogs in like 3 weeks, dude. It's gonna be weird.
Yeah, what are they gonna do after that? Oh god.
That's gonna be fucking horrible. Dude, that's why I just accept the friend requests from the prostitutes. I'm like, yeah, sure. Then they talk to me, and I'm like, I'm happily married, leave me alone. And they're like, okay, all right.
Bye.
Yeah.
I just don't. It's easier to just delete it. But
I had one contacting me, and she's like, how about I send you a video of me in the bath, and you send me a picture of your cock? And I'm like, nah. They're like, okay, how about this? And I'm like, nah, I'm good.
I'm good.
She's like,
yeah.
okay.
Like, my camera zoom doesn't go that far. I can't do that. I'm sorry.
It's more so my arms can't reach all the way out to get the proper perspective. It doesn't like, no, it's too, yeah.
It's like, is this raw dough? What are you sending me?
If you put me in the oven for 10 minutes, I'd grow.
And if you poke me, I go, it's great.
Where, Dino, where can they find you?
Oh, God, I might be in the dark
Hell.
forest by the end of the day. I don't know.
Oh.
Running for my life. I walk around with one of those hunting vests just in case, so nobody mistakes me for an animal. No, at Dino the Genetic Marvel everywhere. Mostly my Facebook fan page or my comedy page. I've tried to get away from saying fan page because people are like, "Fuck you," and I'm like, "Okay, it's just my comedy page. Okay, people, just calm down." But that's where I post mostly everything, links to live shows and all that kind of stuff. So check that out, and you'll be able to see more of my beautiful face and gorgeous voice made for radio. I'm Casey Kasem. No.
He's doing the abortion thing. And for the people listening to this, watching this, thanks for listening and watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a review on the app of choice that you're listening, because it helps more people find us. Tell a friend. That'd be cool.
Also, make sure to harass Nick Fernandez for not coming today at all.
That's right.
Definitely, let's harass him. Anyone who listens regularly, please reach out to Nick and tell him that he's a jerk face.
Yeah, clown on him for going camping. How dare he?
100%. That's totally reasonable.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.